In the heart of Joseon, where grand tiled roofs reached for the sky, and ancient trees shaded noble estates, stood the magnificent manor of Minister Hong. Yet, within its walls, a shadow lingered, cast not by wealth or power, but by rigid societal rules. Here, a young boy named Hong Gildong lived, blessed with brilliance but cursed by his birth as the illegitimate son of a noble father and a humble servant. Though his father, Minister Hong, held deep affection for him, Gildong was a seoja, forever forbidden to call his own father, abaji, abyoji, or his legal wife, mother, 어머니, 이 어머니, a bitter sting in his young heart. Minister Hong, despite the conventions of the time, recognized Gildong's exceptional spirit and intellect. He would often find ways to spend time with his son, teaching him calligraphy and ancient texts, always with a hidden warmth in his eyes. But even these moments of quiet intimacy were tinged with sadness, as the unspoken word father hung heavy between them, a barrier invisible, yet unbreakable. Gildong yearned for simple recognition, for the right to openly acknowledge the man he admired, a desire that burned brightly against the backdrop of his societal exclusion. As Gildong matured, his talents blossomed in ways that astonished everyone. He mastered not only scholarly pursuits, but also martial arts, practicing in secret, his movements swift and graceful like a forest spirit. His physical prowess and keen mind made him formidable, a true prodigy. Yet, the sting of being a seoja never faded. Instead, it solidified into a quiet resolve. He realized that if society would not grant him the respect he deserved by birth, he would earn it through his own actions, forging a path where lineage meant less than justice. Gildong's brilliance, however, also stirred dangerous jealousies. His half-brother, In Hyung, filled with envy and spurred by his mother, Lady Yu, hatched a sinister plot. He bribed a household servant, Deokso, to assassinate Gildong in his sleep. One moonless night, the assassin crept towards Gildong's chambers, a glinting dagger hidden beneath his robes. But Gildong, ever vigilant, sensed the danger even before it fully materialized. His training had sharpened his instincts to an almost supernatural degree. As Deokso burst into the room, dagger raised high, Gildong moved like lightning. With astonishing speed and agility, he disarmed the assassin, twisting the weapon from his grasp before Deokso could even comprehend what had happened. Pinning the cowering servant against the wall, Gildong's gaze was not one of anger, but of piercing disappointment. He learned of the plot, confirming his fears that true danger resided not in distant enemies, but within his own family's prejudiced heart. Confronting his half-brother was pointless. The venom of jealousy ran too deep. Gildong understood then that his path lay elsewhere, far from the stifling constraints of his birthright. With a heavy heart, he sought out his mother, Choran, under the cloak of night. She wept silently, understanding the unspoken necessity of his departure, but her love gave him strength. He promised her he would return one day, not as a seoja, but as a man worthy of her pride, a man who had forged his own destiny. Gildong wandered the lands of Joseon, observing the plight of the common people, the heavy taxes, the corrupt officials, the widespread suffering. His journey led him to Mount Songsan, a rugged, imposing peak rumored to be the lair of a notorious band of outlaws. He approached them not with fear, but with an open mind and a purpose. Their current leader, a burly, gruff man, initially scoffed at the young nobleman, but Gildong's innate charisma, sharp wit, and surprising martial prowess quickly won their respect. Having earned their loyalty, Gildong did not simply take over. He transformed the band. He instilled in them a new purpose, not mere banditry, but justice. He renamed them the HWALBINDANG, the League to Help the Poor. Their mission was clear: to steal from the corrupt and oppressive officials who exploited the common folk, and to redistribute that wealth among the suffering. They would become the avenging hand of the people, a beacon of hope in a land shadowed by injustice. Their first target was a notoriously corrupt magistrate, 50 to 65, who had amassed a fortune by extorting villagers. Under the cloak of a moonless night, Gildong and his HWALBINDANG executed their plan with silent precision. They infiltrated the magistrate's heavily guarded residence, swiftly overpowering his guards without bloodshed. They relieved him of his ill-gotten gains, taking only what was unjustly acquired. As a calling card, Gildong left a rhyming poem mocking the magistrate's greed. Signed by Hong Gildong, the Tiger of Joseon. The news of the HWALBINDANG's daring raid spread like wildfire across the provinces, whispered from village to village. The common people rejoiced, finding a glimmer of hope in this mysterious outlaw hero who dared to challenge the powerful. The authorities, however, were enraged and utterly bewildered. Royal decrees were issued, bounties posted, and guards mobilized. But Gildong, with his uncanny ability to appear and disappear, always remained one step ahead, a phantom of justice. The rumors of Hong Gildong, the elusive outlaw, eventually reached Minister Hong. He was torn. As a high-ranking official, he was obligated to condemn such a figure. Yet, as a father, a flicker of pride ignited within his chest, recognizing the extraordinary deeds of his son. The HWALBINDANG's actions, though rebellious, mirrored Gildong's inherent sense of justice. He sat alone in his study, the weight of his duty clashing with the silent admiration he felt for the son he could not acknowledge. Knowing his father's predicament, Gildong decided to visit the manor one last time, disguised. He found Minister Hong heartbroken, torn between familial love and duty. Gildong revealed himself, a bittersweet reunion under the cover of night. He assured his father that his actions were not born of malice, but of a desire to see justice prevail where the law had failed. It was a poignant moment of understanding between them, a silent acknowledgement of the bond that society had sought to deny. The king, exasperated by Gildong's continued evasions and the mockery of his authority, finally declared that if anyone could capture Hong Gildong, even his own father would be exonerated. Yet, all efforts failed. Hong Gildong was simply too cunning, too elusive. In a moment of playful brilliance, Gildong employed his knowledge of Taoist magic, creating multiple identical clones of himself. These illusory Gildongs appeared across the provinces, causing utter chaos and further confounding the royal guards. As the authorities intensified their pursuit, Gildong orchestrated a masterful deception. He allowed himself to be captured by the royal guards, appearing humble and subdued. The king was triumphant, Minister Hong relieved, but the moment Gildong was brought before the royal court, he laughed, revealing his magical clones. With a flourish, he vanished in a puff of smoke, leaving behind only the bewildered guards and a stunned king. It was a final, grand statement of his freedom and his disdain for their corrupted system. Though he had achieved great fame and effectively undermined the corrupt, Gildong realized that true change might be impossible in Joseon. His heart yearned for a place where a man was judged by his deeds, not his birth. He resolved to leave his homeland, not in defeat, but in search of a new beginning, a place where he could establish a society founded on true equality and justice. He gathered his HWALBINDANG, who, without hesitation, chose to follow their remarkable leader to an unknown future. Their journey across the vast, shimmering ocean led them to a mystical, uncharted island, shrouded in perpetual mist and rich with untouched beauty. They named it YULDO. The Chestnut Island, a land untainted by the hierarchies and injustices of Joseon. It was a breathtaking paradise, with lush forests, clear rivers, and fertile soil waiting to be cultivated. Here, Gildong envisioned his utopia, a kingdom built upon the very ideals he had fought for. On YULDO, Hong Gildong was finally able to achieve his greatest aspiration. He established a new kingdom, governing with wisdom and compassion, utterly free from the social rigidities of his past. He became YULDO's benevolent king, a true leader beloved by his people. Under his just rule, everyone was treated equally, regardless of birth or background. The island flourished, a haven of peace and prosperity, a living testament to Gildong's unwavering belief in fairness and human dignity. Hong Gildong, the illegitimate son, denied a name, became a legendary hero who transcended the boundaries of his birth. From the oppressive manor of Joseon to the utopian shores of YULDO, he proved that true nobility lies not in lineage, but in character, courage, and an unyielding commitment to justice. His story reminds us that even when faced with insurmountable obstacles, one can carve their own destiny, challenging unjust systems and inspiring generations to dream of a world where all are treated with respect and equality. The tale of Hong Gildong remains one of Korea's most beloved narratives, a timeless symbol of rebellion against injustice and the triumph of the human spirit. It asks us to look beyond superficial differences and recognize the inherent worth in every individual. What aspects of Gildong's journey resonated most with you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you were inspired by Hong Gildong's quest for justice, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to our channel for more enchanting Korean folktales brought to life in the spirit of Studio Ghibli. Until next time, may your own path be guided by courage and compassion.